My name is Cauy.
And my name is Harrison.
And we're just two gay Native Americans living in Arizona.
I'm a filmmaker.
And I'm an upcoming makeup artist.
And we both have a love for cinema.
Come join us as we discuss new and old movies.
Welcome to Two Spirit Movie Reviews. Hello, welcome back to Two Spirit Movie Reviews. Today's movie is going to be...
The Art of Self-Defense.
The Art of Self-Defense. What a movie. You know, when we started this, you know, it was great that we're going to be watching all of the new movies, but a lot of those new movies are also going to be independent movies. So this is going to be our first independent movie we're reviewing. So, with that being said, first impressions.
Oh my god. I loved it right off the bat. There was little moments of it where, you know, like this movie involves, what do you call it? Black comedy?
Yeah, it's a very dark black comedy.
It was fun. Like, the role that Jesse plays, oh my god, like, how awkward can he get already? Like,
Yeah.
I thought that it was, like this one, and like in most movies that he's in, he's always the awkward type, so he's a really good fit for it. But later in the movie, he just becomes like a badass. And
yeah, Jesse Eisenberg seemed, at least when in the early parts of his career, always seemed to be cast as the socially awkward, the nerdy, geeky, weak type. I think for me, my earliest role for him was the Squid and the Whale and Adventureland, which of course he played the more vulnerable character, the more vulnerable older brother of a couple, a husband and wife divorcing in Squid and the Whale, and of course Adventureland, which you're familiar with, right?
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, if anything, I'd say he was a little typecast in this movie, but I think this is his best role because he still maintains that awkwardness throughout the whole movie, but he does it in such a way where he has his own arc of going from weak, scrawny, little worthless piece of shit to weak, scrawny, powerful piece of shit.
Yeah. You describe it like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, let's, I suppose we should talk just a little bit. Let's touch on the director, writer and director. The writer and director's name is Riley Stearns. And, I mean, I gotta be very blunt with you. I have never heard of this guy. Or girl. Riley's a girl's name. I actually don't know.
It could be both. I don't know.
It could be. But yeah, I've never heard of him before. Based on the research I did after we watched the movie, he comes predominantly from a short film background. So he did like 3 short films, 1 feature length, which looks kind of quirky too. Probably not as quirky as this, but definitely kind of up there. I think this is like, out of his filmography, it looks like this is his breakout movie, so to speak. But yeah, no, he's kind of living the independent dream, you know, because this movie took Sundance by storm, and everyone in the audience member loved that movie, and that's how it was able to get picked up for distribution, and that's why we saw it today. And I don't know, he's the success story you always hope for as an independent filmmaker, an aspiring one, to make a movie with big stars. I mean, these are relatively big stars. You got Jesse Eisenberg in the lead role. Then you have Alessandro Nivola, who has been kind of in movies scattered throughout.
Yeah.
The only kind of film that I recognized him in, remembered him from, was Jurassic Park 3 as Billy. Do you even remember like that movie? Like moments of it at least?
Was he the one that got killed in the bathroom?
No, he's the one who parachuted. Remember?
Oh.
No, Jurassic Park
okay.
3, not the first one.
Oh, okay.
The worst one, where the Velociraptor talks in the dream. Alan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
No, he plays Billy in that movie. That's like, oh, okay, that's where he's from. So he's been on the scene for quite some time, and of course I didn't make the connection until I read the credits when I did the research. But Imogen Poots, who plays the female character in the movie, and as you'll just find out, Coy's favorite movie is 28 Weeks Later.
Yes.
And that was one, it probably wasn't her first role in that movie, but it was definitely like one that kind of...
She stuck out.
Yeah, she stuck out, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like the, you know, it's he's living the independent filmmaker's dream, you know? He actually brought on the same composer, editor, and cinematographer from his short films and his one feature-length film onto this film. So it's kind of like, hey, you know, it's kind of that very awesome success story where you make a short film with fellow filmmakers in film school and suddenly that one makes it. He brings you along for the ride.
Yeah, I feel like independent films are more better than actual films that are by, like, you know, the large companies that are out there.
Well, you know why, right? The studios won't fucking touch it because that's your film.
Yeah.
It's already made. Then it gets shipped out to other companies to be distributed, you know? You know, obviously the studio films, they get meddled with and toyed with by producers with money. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, I see.
You know?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, The Art of Self-Defense, this is like the epitome of independent cinema. And I naturally have a soft spot for it. You know, you're always going to get these more grounded, more human stories from the independent cinema. And this is, and sometimes those grounded stories get a little dark and quirky.
Oh, yes.
Which this film is. It's the blackest black comedy I've ever seen. So... but yeah, should we jump into plot?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we start off with the character of Jesse Eisenberg. He is
he's a 36-year-old accountant.
Yeah, 36-year-old accountant. He is not very famous in the office. Everyone looks down on him.
They belittle him. It's funny.
Yeah. And, you know, in pure Jesse Eisenberg fashion, you know, I imagine, like, if this were some sort of, like, alternate, like, universe, so to speak, I feel this is, like, his Zombieland character without the zombie apocalypse.
I mean, the way he was dressing...
Yeah, and even the body language, right?
Yeah.
He was always so tense throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he made me feel bad for him a couple of times. You know, it's like, oh, I just wanna...
the part where like outside the grocery store.
Yeah. Oh,
that was so sad.
Yeah. Well, he confronts someone who bangs their door against his vehicle, and this is the battle he loses, and then he drives away crying like a little baby. That's in the trailer, so don't worry, that's not a spoiler. I guess we should say now that we are going to save the ending for the last bit, obviously, because that is major spoiler territory, which we won't. We're going to talk about it, but we're just going to let you guys know. There's going to be, at the end of this video, we're going to talk about the ending, which is going to be spoiler heavy.
Yes.
Okay. So one night while he's walking to the store to get some dog food for his dog.
His dog is really cute, by the way.
Yeah, it's a German. What do you say, Dachshund?
Yeah.
Dachshund. I forgot
how to pronounce it, but it started with Dido.
So it's a little wiener dog. It looked like, you know, it's a very small dog. And then he gets jumped by these people in bikes and masks and all that stuff, and because of that, he goes and enrolls in a karate class where he receives lessons from even right off the bat, you can tell there's something very wrong with this sensei.
Yeah, you get tell. He was just very...
something a little...
like, very dark about him. Like,
a little unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he starts receiving lessons from this sensei. Yeah. And then from there, it's just like a really intense, hilarious, dark descent into insanity.
Yeah.
That's the best way to explain it. So honestly, if you saw the trailer and didn't want to watch it, then this movie's not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really, truly dark, quirky, like fucking dark comedy. You know?
I mean, it'll still make you laugh. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just really dark, though. Like, shit actually gets real.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's more laughter in the first 75% of the movie than the last 20. Well, the 25% still has its own moments, but it merits its laughter because of how dark it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, let's start talking about let's get into the actors, shall we?
Yeah.
I think we kind of spoke already about Jesse Eisenberg, you know, Jesse Eisenberg, brilliant actor, all around. He's very kind of versatile with his roles. He could totally play big budget Lex Luthor, even though a lot of people weren't fans of him. He could still play the offbeat, like,
Yeah.
And then he can go from that to playing the very, smart, witty mouth, quick wit Facebook guy. What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg for the Social Network,
Uh-huh.
And then he can go into this role, which is like just completely vulnerable, weak, and quirky. You know? So we already know Jesse Eisenberg is great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sensei, who's played again by Alessandro Nivola.
I feel like I've seen him before in movies. I definitely really don't remember him from Jurassic Park 3, but I feel like there was another movie maybe I saw him fully, but he looked really familiar to me.
Yeah.
But his character was very, like, manipulative. Just manipulative and, I think controlling is the same as manipulative, but he was just very, like intimidating, I would say.
Yeah, and don't worry, I don't blame you for forgetting Jurassic Park 3. The whole world forgot it, so don't worry. But yeah, no, he was very, obviously very intimidating. He was very manipulative, and I mean, I guess that kind of delves into a little bit of spoiler, but honestly, you kind of get that from the trailers anyway. This guy is our villain.
Yeah.
Straight up villain, But yeah, no, I mean, fairly not straightforward role. He had played the Macho Man. It's almost as if they made a movie about that in the sensei from Napoleon Dynamite. Bow to your sensei.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like he's like the more serious version of that character.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like if it's I mean, and I guess if you can compare the comedic elements from this movie to another movie, it's like an R-rated Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Alessandro Nivola, I'm pretty sure he's been in other movies, but I only recognize him from Jurassic Park 3, unfortunately. But yeah, no, pretty great role, pretty solid performance. For me, I think, honestly, the big takeaway here is going to be Imogen Poots.
I see, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell she was very, like, I don't know how to describe her character in this movie. She was more of, like, I don't know, probably, maybe a spoiler, but scared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's actually a good point. I think that her character... I think we have to talk about her character, but we have to get into spoilers on that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll save her character for the last. Or at least that element of her.
Yeah.
But, this movie, I think she is the shining feminine light in this movie. And this movie is, and I think it's definitely done on purpose. It's done very exaggeratedly. I guess that's a word. Sounds like a word.
Maybe.
It's done very exaggeratedly, but this is a very, like, masculine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, critics deemed it as masculine, like, in the terms of that, as the ways how the character is being played, especially as it's more of like Jesse is struggling with his masculinity in this movie. Like, I don't know, like, as him getting jumped, he feels, he becomes down with PTSD, and from there he's just very, very, like, scared to go out. He's scared to go to the store. I mean, am I spoiling it, or I don't know? But I'm just trying to dive more into his character.
Yeah, no, the jumping part's in the trailer, so that's not a big spoiler.
Okay.
But, like, he, like I say, he does get PTSD, and there's even a line where, before we even think that the sensei is the villain, where he kind of opens up to him and he says, I'm scared of going out. I'm scared of the dark because it happened at night. The jumping.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of other men. They intimidate me, and he wants to become
masculine.
He wants to become what he's afraid of.
Yeah.
And by doing that, he has to confront his own masculinity and, quote unquote, become a man.
Yeah. I remember that part.
And, this is why I should have honestly looked it up. I'm not quite sure if the director, Riley Stearns, is a female or male. But it deals, honestly, very bluntly, it deals with fragile male masculinity.
Yes.
And it does it in a way where it does it in a black comedy way where it addresses it and kind of pokes fun at it, but also makes it seem like, okay, yeah, this is like this is how men actually feel in real life, you know. And then going back to the character of Imogen Poots, that's like, she's like she's the person in the movie fighting against it without her even almost knowing even, you know, because character-wise, she's a brown belt and the next belt is black, and she's been with this dojo for years, you know, even when it opened, and she still hasn't achieved her black belt, and yet she proves herself multiple times that she's worthy of the black belt. But because of how the dojo is run by the Alessandro Nivola character, it's, you know, it's very blunt. It's almost very offensive. And if it wasn't a black comedy, I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But it's done where it's like, females are softer. Their hands aren't as strong as a man's, you know?
Yeah, they're not capable of being in a man's position, is what the sensei was trying to say, at least, when he was talking about masculinity towards Jesse's character.
Yeah. But it's great because now you have this character in this movie that is a statement on fragile masculinity, male masculinity, and she's challenging all those roles. She's better than the men. She is, you know, she should have that black belt, but she doesn't, and she proves it over and over again. It's almost like a much more subtle, far more lower budget version of Fight Club. You know?
Honestly, I never seen Fight Club, but I get the idea.
Oh no! I mean, are you aware of the big twist at the end of Fight Club?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. We have someone who doesn't even know the twist of Fight Club. Oh my god. Does that mean I have the distinct honor of showing that movie to you?
Yes, you do.
Bitch, what the fuck? Remember I invited you to go watch it with me in 35mm and you said no.
Well, it was just, I'm not really a big fan of fighting movies. Like...
Oh no, it's called Fight Club and there is fighting in it, but it's much more than that.
I don't know why I mistaken the Fight Club for Creed. I don't know. I just think they both have similar plot storylines. That's why I was like,
girl, you know what? Stop embarrassing yourself. Quit talking. I am going to show you that movie, and your mind's going to be blown.
Okay.
You're going to love it. You heard it here, folks. We're going to do a review on Fight Club.
There we go.
But yeah, no, that was going through my mind, and you know what? I had a feeling that you haven't seen Fight Club. And I had a feeling that this exact thing was going to happen.
Well, it was leading up to it.
Yeah. No, okay. I'm super happy because I get to show it to you, but I'm also super sad that you haven't seen it. It's a great movie.
I brought it on myself.
And you know what? You know what's funny? Because it was a Tuesday night classic earlier this year.
I believe you did tell me that if I was interested, and I said no.
Wow.
And I remember you were like, what? in your text.
Oh, man. Well, regardless, that's any cinema guy will know that it's a very special honor to show someone a really good movie. And I'm glad that's my honor. So, can't wait.
Ta-da.
Yeah. But anyways, Imogen Poots. Fantastic strong female character in a movie that's predominantly featuring men.
Yes.
And I think it's done on purpose.
She's the only female in that movie, I believe. Yeah.
Aside from the breasts in the magazine.
No,
yeah,
I wouldn't consider that part, but just
well, no, I mean, even story-wise, it's like the only kind of female representation is a strong woman and just bare breasts. You know, it's like it's one or the other, apparently. But that's why I really need to know if this writer-director was a man or a woman. I'm going to look that up real quick. Give us a few moments. We'll be back. All right, so we're coming back from our little research. Riley Stearns is a man. Okay. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that and see what comes up with him. Oh, there he is, shirtless. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
All right, Sensei.
I guess it could be done that way. It's not like it was driving the point home that masculinity is important. So it's not like it's a bad thing. Yeah. But I think that's it for kind of characters. Other than that, the other players are just supporting characters. Yeah. We should move on to the music of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna. The one thing we wanted to talk about was the whole scene of, which is still commentating on the male masculinity aspect. I'll let you do this one.
Okay, so there was a scene in the movie where Jesse and Sensei's character, I forgot the actor's name.
Alessandro Nivola.
Oh, I'm just gonna stick to Sensei.
That guy. Yeah, Sensei.
Okay,
Sensei.
yeah, Sensei. And Jesse's character, they are going through talking about masculinity, and so he asked Jesse's character what he listens to, and he was like, so I listen to adult contemporary, and he told him to change his music taste to metal to seem more masculine. And now when it comes to metal, Jesse did go to the he did go to the what do you call it?
Just like a used place, because it said like used CDs.
So like, I guess a Zia record.
Yeah.
But he goes there and he finds the only CD, just only one CD that was in the metal section.
No, that's so funny, because it was like, it shouldn't have been there. It was like, it went from like a selection of adult contemporary to metal, where there was just this one CD in there. Oh man.
And he buys it and he plays the music in his car, and it's like, for me, the metal was kind of like it's kind of like screamo mixed with like very aggressive rock.
Cauy, you and I both know you can give us an example of what it sounded like.
Oh my god, I
ready?
do not.
You gotta.
No.
Yes, come on, don't be shy.
That's my hidden talent, and I do never want to show that talent.
Well, fine then. Just so you know, if you need a singer for those bands that have titles that look like vines,
like Pig Squeals, doing like the little deep ass voice, monotone voice. You know how screamo.
Just
you know what that is.
You can you do it? Please?
I cannot do
that.
Oh my god, let me try.
Okay,
ready?
Like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I guess you would say.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Oh, I didn't know it's performing a concert here.
Oh, look at that. Our next, first step podcast. Second step, we're gonna be selling out at the Madison Square Garden.
Oh, I bet. And our fucking band name's gonna be Two Spirit.
Oh, I can see that. But no, I think even symbolically, that's sort of like the first step towards quote unquote acquiring his masculinity, even though it's like a warped path set forth by the sensei.
Yeah.
Because remember the line I said earlier where he wants to become what he's afraid of.
Yeah.
When he starts blasting that music, there's this family in like a family van who roll up their windows
You would see that in the trailer.
Yeah, that was in the trailer, and in essence, it was like him becoming, in some quirky way, it was him becoming
a man.
Becoming a man, but also becoming something to be quote unquote feared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like his first step toward the dark side, so to speak.
Okay, that explains why he just turns it up in his car after he got the reaction of the family.
Yeah, no, so it's not like it was a complete accident, and in regards to like the theme of that type of music, the way the logos are designed, when the movie ends, actually the first title we see is the name of the movie, but in that format.
Oh yeah,
like the Art of Defense, but you can barely read it.
Yeah, it's like one of those metalcore type of. Think of like Cannibal Corpse, or think of like any type of band that's very hardcore, like deathcore, not deathcore, I would say.
Yeah. So I mean that was kind of interesting because it was like this first step towards claiming his masculinity, and it's what caps the movie off,
Yes.
So. But yeah, no, and this is where I like to talk about the film score, because like I said in our previous episodes, that when I do watch a movie, it's ingrained in me to hear like the film score, the orchestral element to it, and I thought there was a lot of interesting things happening in there, not theme wise, because I'm pretty sure there was a theme, but I didn't catch on to it, but given the nature of the movie, the at least the Jesse Eisenberg character has a very nice, like plucky, quirky theme, like very pizzicato I think it's pizzicato on the violins where they're plucking, you know. But I just happen to notice that when things really start taking a weird dark turn, that's where we start getting the more like kind of off-putting, long drawn-out strings that sound like his insanity is kind of teetering. And I happen to notice that, like, as the movie was going on, that just slowly transformed from the little subtle plucking theme to like this more like low level conjuring music, you know.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, further just to further bring home to the point that the character was noticing off things.
Yeah.
So,
or during the second half of, well, when it gets to the middle, that's when the same tension of the music was getting a little bit more darker, more sinister, because things starts to like become unusual for him. Just after the fact that he was telling him to like change his ways, that's when he know like something was going down.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't notice these things, you just don't, and it just sort of comes as a surprise to me. Which I mean, before we actually continue, I mean, is there anything else you'd like to cover? We covered the plot, the characters, the music. I mean,
I think we covered everything, the overall message of what the movie was trying to prove. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think I'd feel comfortable jumping into the last half.
Yes.
Yeah, the last 25% of the movie.
Yes.
So spoiler warnings. This is a spoiler warning. If you listen beyond this, it's gonna be spoiled.
Your fault too.
Yeah, again, it's your fault. So, but you actually saw the ending coming.
I did. I predicted it, and I did a little side conversation with Harrison, but he didn't hear me.
I didn't hear him. Thank God. I'm thankful I didn't hear it.
I was like, I know what's gonna happen. I'm feeling it's these guys.
Yeah.
And
well, let's tell them, I guess. The big twist of the ending is that the people that jumped the Jesse Eisenberg character in the beginning were all members of the dojo that he was a part of.
Yes.
So it's like, whoa.
I just thought of it right on my back, because like the way the movie was going, the way the theme started getting a little bit more darker, I was thinking maybe these guys are a part of because first of all, when Jesse's character got like beat up, they were like slick on him, like the moves that they were doing to him like repeatedly. And also how I kind of got just a little image of it is when there was a part where the female character, what was her name again?
I remember her Imogen Poots.
Imogen Poots. That when she tries to show her that she's worthy of getting a black belt, she fights this guy, and after he's unconscious, she's still hitting him in the face. And that was the same punches that they were giving him when he was knocked out on the ground.
Wow, you think it was her that beat the shit out of him?
No, it was actually the
Chinese dude. Or the Asian.
But the same thing that she was doing, that's how he was beat up.
See, I really wished you watched Fight Club, because there's a scene like almost very reminiscent to that where our lead character, the character, is beating someone up like that who's already should be tapped out. You know? It's like, so I really wish you watched it. You know, I feel. I mean, you know, it's a fairly famous movie, late '90s, very iconic. You know, it sits on the shelves of one of a really good. It's a really good cinematic classic. So.
I didn't know it came out in the '90s. I thought it was just like a recent movie.
Oh no! Like, gosh, I don't even know. 1998, maybe 99. But no, that's the big twist at the end, is that the people who kicked his ass were members of the dojo. But actually, this things for me got really dark when he finally gets into the back room.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, it was actually when I don't want to. Maybe this is too much of a spoiler.
Oh no, we are in spoiler territory, so it's their fault. Spoiler. This is the second. We're being very generous with these spoiler warnings. Second spoiler warning. Go ahead.
Things took a turn when they killed his dog.
Yes, cute little German Dachshund, or however you say it. The little wiener
dog, and like Jesse, how he was treating the dog, it was so cute. And there was a one point where he was figuring out more of his masculine, or trying to find it. He comes home to his dog, and he was like, no, I will not be giving you any more kisses. And
You've been cuddled enough.
you've been cuddled enough.
And
then he comes back and he kisses his dog.
Like, this
I'm
is
sorry.
for your own good. Poor little dog. Yeah, I'd say that sort of set off the events that turned it into, like, it just, after that, that's when it really started getting into, like, the 9th level of hell, you know?
And
because it turns out that our sensei is way more dark and sinister than we could possibly imagine.
this is where he gets, like, very manipulative, is that...
Oh, fuck that. He's, like, straight on Sith Lord at this point.
So there was a point where Jesse wanted to get out. And there was a point, now there's spoilers again, just to let you guys know. So Jesse gets a call from Sensei, and he was like, I know one of the people that attacked you that night, and I need you to meet me at this area. So Jesse's character goes, and he finds out that this guy, not this guy, but there was like a motorcycle and a bicycle a bicycle tied up and a motorcycle in the back. And he said that the person that did this to you is inside the bar. And this is where, again, he manipulates Jesse's character as him not being masculine. And if he were to do something, he will prove his masculinity. Like, what are you being afraid of? It was basically what he was saying. Like, you need to confront it. And the guy walks out from the bar. You know, Jesse attacks him. And the sensei is recording the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird.
And the part where, I'm sorry. I tend to go really in depth with scenes, like talking about it.
Okay, I think I can.
Okay.
Essentially, what Cauy's getting at is that Sensei manipulated Jesse Eisenberg to kick some random guy's ass when it wasn't even the man who kicked his ass.
Yes.
You know, so, and he did it in a way where he was just saying, hey, if you want to be a man, kick this man's ass, take your revenge. And it wasn't even the one who did it.
Yeah. And
that's represented because in the foreground shot, there was a bike. But in the background, there was a motorcycle. And as we know, oh my God, the motorcycle belonged to the sensei.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. See?
And it was like, and it turns out that this guy who's getting out of this bar drunk owns the bike.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, fuck, you know.
And
I mean, honestly, at this point, he may as well have been like Palpatine, like, do it, you know. And it was just like, this is where he really started being really creepy. And here we go into spoiler territory again. It turns out that in this secret room in the dojo, that this sensei has a fully working machine that cremates people.
Yes.
So that explains a lot.
That explains a lot.
You know, just how he casually speaks of, oh, I've killed people, you know.
Ooh, and in the part where, again, a spoiler, where he breaks that guy's arm.
Yeah.
That was where things were like, fuck.
We really should have seen, like, okay, hold on a second, you know, because this guy was like, hey, stand up here, we're going to do a little, you know, whatever. And then he was like, okay, hold your arm out. And then he just fucking breaks this man's arm, and we should have known better by that point.
Yeah, but then just the way it was more like, it was comedy.
Yeah, because, I think at that point we're like, ha, he broke his arm,
yeah.
But I guess that just shows how fucked we are.
Yeah. But that was the part where things started going off, like going crazy on a more different route.
Yeah, but yeah, no, to get into more of the ending again, at this...
As I was saying, Jesse's character tries to get out, but the sensei is using the film to blackmail him. Oh,
yes. We learned that the sensei has blackmailed all of his members into basically doing his will.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a cult.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Jesse Eisenberg character is set up as, you know, someone to do a coup against the leader.
Yeah.
And he does it so beautifully. And it so falls in line with the theme of the movie and even the title of the movie, The Art of Self-Defense. Because essentially at the end, and it's hinted at in the trailer, but it's not shown, but the character Jesse Eisenberg challenges Sensei to a duel to the death.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then it's like it's building up, like, oh God, you know, master versus apprentice. You know, it's gonna be this huge epic battle, and then he just fucking shoots him in the face with the gun.
Exactly.
It is
like, I honestly thought they were gonna, like, Jesse. There were points where Jesse's character was he was actually becoming more of himself, where he snapped off a review mirror and he punched a tire that just deflated like that. So I thought he was really gonna prove his moves, and he was actually gonna fight Sensei, challenge him. And he pulls out a gun. And he's like,
oh, but it's such perfect symbolism. I love it.
And in the movie too, they deemed guns as weak.
Yeah. And again, that's sort of in keeping with the character. It's like this guy is still a weak, worthless piece of shit, but he's like a badass worthless piece of shit now, and then he basically just does a whole coup, and this is where we get some nice little character arc closures. For one, the Jesse Eisenberg character basically, I think, reclaimed his masculinity by becoming like the next de facto leader of this dojo, while still maintaining his loser status, because as much as he has quote unquote defeated the dojo, he still wears the yellow belt.
Oh yeah.
So that he could and then finally the Imogen Poots character finally gets her black belt,
Yeah.
And then actually at the end too, because I'm actually fairly certain. Oh, it was the character. It was the Asian who beat the shit out of him first.
Yeah.
It was it was the Asian who beat the shit out of him. Then it was also the same Asian who fucking murdered his dog.
Yeah.
So, and then in perfect harmonious closure, Jesse Eisenberg sets his new dog, a much more masculine German Shepherd, on the Asian, and he fucking gets his throat ripped out.
Exactly.
And I'm all like, that's screenwriting 101 right there. You got full circle stories closing on, and the closing is beautiful.
That was a big fuck you to that guy, because we killed a wiener dog, and then a much bigger dog kills him, and I was like so satisfied.
Yes. If anything, this movie was satisfying.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that is the art of self-defense. Let's do some closing statements. You want to go first?
Yeah. So it's a perfect movie if you're into black comedy, dark comedy. I guess you could put it as that. I don't know which one is which, but if you like that type of comedy, it's a good one for you. You should watch it, especially if you like Jesse's character, or Jesse, the actor.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah. If you like his character, not his character, like just the quirky character that he plays in his movies, this one will be good. This one reminds me of the other movies that he has ever been in. But
he's like the quirkiest of the quirky here.
Yeah, the really awkward person that he always plays, but this time he's more of like an awkward badass person. So I would suggest, if you want to watch, this movie, it's really good. Go ahead and just go ahead and go see it. I would recommend it. Even though we talked much about it, go ahead and see it for yourself, and you'll see why we're talking about it.
Yeah, I think at this point, if it's been out for a couple of weeks now, actually, so
yeah.
If you haven't seen it, yeah, sorry, but but okay, out of 10, what would you give it?
I would give it an 8.
An 8?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And yeah, I think I kind of have the same thoughts on it. I mean, I think I wrote down that it has an 82% from critics, which is a good thing.
Yes.
And actually a surprising 62% audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes, which ironically I found that would have been like either equal or kind of opposite.
Yeah.
But I can see why critics would love it. Like I said, I don't think this film is for everyone. Yeah. You have to have a very odd, specific taste in movies. Because if I could compare it to like other dark comedies, it felt more like, the 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri, Burn After Reading, In Bruges, 7 Psychopaths.
Uh-huh.
So it was kind of like that blunt. It's very kind of that dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. It's not like not Joan from down the road is going to be like, I want to go watch The Art of Self-Defense. You have to have a very kind of love for independent cinema to appreciate this movie, which I guess these critics did and general audiences didn't. So
yeah, I'm surprised. That's why I said if black comedy is your type of movie, if you love that type of humor, then go see it. What would you call it? Satire?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you love satire movies, like dark comedy movies, go ahead and watch this. This movie's not really meant for everybody, but if you're in that type of mindset, that fucked up mindset, then this is a perfect movie for you. Because I do too.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up shit. It has everything: dog death, suicide, broken bones. Damn. But yeah, like I even said it earlier. It's like an R-rated Napoleon Dynamite. It's like the opposite of the Karate Kid.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's satire. It has blunt satire.
Yeah.
It's just and it's not really deadpan, like deadpan delivery. It's just it's satirical. It's dark and it's hilarious, and I loved it. And for me, it does have its problems. You know, we did talk about the good stuff. There were some bad things, but honestly, you kind of look past it, really. But I think for me, mine's going to be a little bit more generous. I want to give it an 8.5 out of 10. You know, so it's still the general, you know, ballpark. You know?
Yes.
But yeah, it's a beautiful independent movie, and you know, we love supporting independent movies. At least I do. And I want to say that this movie hopefully opened the doors up for this director, Riley Stearns, who is a man. So we confirmed that. I feel maybe this sort of put him more in the spotlight than his other movie did, because his other movie actually starred Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So
which one was it?
It's called Fault.
I haven't seen that, but I do know Mary. You know, she was the final girl in Final Destination 3.
Yeah, and she fought the Thing.
She was the Thing.
She fell in love with Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I again, I haven't heard about it, but I know Elizabeth Winstead, so it's like, I kind of want to see that movie, just see what it's like. It was like 2012, so it's not too old, but yeah, I hope that this is sort of like the independent black comedy that I hope at least that director Riley Stearns is going to be like the Ari Aster of black comedies, you know?
Yeah.
So like, you know, Ari Aster creates the fucked up movies, Hereditary, Midsommar. Yeah. I'm hoping that this guy will be that director, but for comedies.
For comedies, yeah.
All right, well, that's been our review for The Art of Self-Defense. So I think it's pretty obvious we love the fuck out of this movie. So do yourself a favor. Go watch it.
Go watch it, please.
Yeah. Other than that, this has been Harrison.
This has been Cauy.
And this has been Two Spirit Movie Reviews. I know we said last time our next review was going to be Hobbs and Shaw.
But this one...
one kind of caught us off guard. We just randomly went to a movie on a Sunday.
Yeah, and I was like, I never seen this movie. And I watched the trailer, and I was like, I want to watch this. But now, I finally did.
Yeah, we were considering watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again. But I'm actually glad we watched this instead.
Oh, yeah.
All love goes to that movie, but I'm glad we watched something new.
Yeah.
So this time we promise, the next movie we're going to review is going to be Hobbs and Shaw. Oh, wait, God. I just lied already. The next movie we're going to be reviewing is going to be Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's on Tuesday. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna be reviewing. So I'm sorry. I'm just a big fucking Larry.
You dumb bitch.
I'm sorry, but Saving Private Ryan's gonna be the next movie we're gonna release, and that's just because. You know what? We'll talk about that in the next review.
Yeah.
So this is goodbye. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. This has been Two Spirit Movie Reviews. If you love what you heard, like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. More platforms will be made available in the upcoming weeks. Thanks for listening.